Hello everyone and welcome back to Of Bricks and Dragons. Today we have a poly bag of the NASA Mars Rover. This is one of the newer sets that just came out as of January 1st. I do have a couple of them that I had picked up, as well as some more minifigures which I want to do. So today we're gonna do the poly bag of the Mars Rover here. They do have a much bigger box version of this, not just the micro build. Which does look interesting. I figure if I got this, then this is maybe something I could throw out with my little minifigures as I'm doing my other stuff or whatever. So that's kind of why I stayed with this. That and, you know, being something a little less expensive, something I think more people might buy for either themselves or for their kids. I think it might be a little bit more on par. I know I love the science fiction. I just don't know where I would go with the larger one. You know, I like the idea that, you know, hopefully there's hope for us in the future that we can kind of stop doing all the fighting and arguing that we seem to do on our wonderful planet here. And, you know, if we could kind of get over our differences and just sometimes agree that, you know, we don't always see eye to eye, and that is fine. You know, because unfortunately we all have our own ideas. I will never say my ideas are correct, and I don't try to insinuate any of that. Oh, I don't think I need that one yet. I'm putting this together, and of course you're looking at it from behind the camera, and I'm going to move the camera back a little bit so you see some of my other stuff here. But there we are. You know, the hardest thing is I'm always working right behind the camera, so if I have the camera too far out, then it gets harder for me to try and do what I'm trying to do here. But yeah, I mean, I enjoy building stuff. I keep hoping that at some point we stop doing all the fighting and all that stuff, and maybe we can do like a Star Trek type of outlook or something. That's really where I kind of hope we go. I always fear that it's probably not going to be where we end up. As a father of two young girls, I keep hoping for the best for them, for what we're leaving behind, but I always worry that, you know, my hopes and all that don't turn out to be exactly how it works out. And I'm not going to sit here and say I have all the stuff in the world to try and be able to change things, because I'm just a little person in a little area, and I get to make some fun YouTube videos on making some Lego stuff and all that. But that's pretty much all I get to contribute to the world. I just hope that people find fun and excitement out of the silliness that I do, and we go from there. As I've said it many times before, the world is serious enough. I'm just hoping that I bring some silliness, and everybody else gets a little bit of fun and laughter out of all this too. So, okay, so it looks like we have this part done. Now comes, you know, we have nice paper instructions, which is always great. But now I've got this piece, and I got to fit that in there, and I'm trying to figure out how that goes. That fits up here, I guess. Okay. I'm going to move my mouse over. And my other mouse. I have two laptops. I've got a gaming laptop, and then I've got another small laptop that I use once in a while that doesn't get used all that much. I bought it for a purpose, but then we haven't really run into those purposes all that much since I bought it, which is usually how things kind of go, I think. Okay, and then I need a second one in there. And that goes like this. we have one of I'm looking for the piece, but I don't see the right piece. It looks like it's one of these. 6. Alright, I guess I'm going to say this, and whoever makes the Lego sets, please bear with me on this. But instead of having, you know, because normally we say what we're looking for, all I see is this, and then I see these. That is that piece. That's my only complaint here. I'm trying to look for that piece, and I'm thinking this has got the part to stick in there, and I'm thinking it's just got the Technic going all the way through, kind of like how this is, where it's the 4, you know, all the way through. This has got the backside here or whatever, but I'm just trying to find it. It's like, wait a minute, something's not adding up here. It's confusing my mind, which doesn't take all that much. Okay, then we want to get one of these. Alright, oops. I'm shoving that around that I don't need to. Well, at least I'm not breaking things, and I do enough of that. You guys get to see a lot of that going on. I start breaking things by accident. I don't intend to, but I do. Oops, I goofed on that one. That doesn't go in there. That goes over here. Alright. Let's see, on to 7. Nope, on to 8. Okay. Now, get 2 of these. And then, nope, that sits on top of that. Alright, trying to figure this all out here. Take one of those. Looks like one of these red ones. And one of these. Alright. This is, you know, being a smaller set, I figured I'd actually do this while I'm recording for once, because I don't normally do this. Normally I get this all done ahead of time and I do a little review of it. For your small poly bag, I could probably put this together without feeling too rushed. Alright. Okay, so it's one of those. There we go. All right. Oh, we got a screw here. Let's put the screw there, and then that gets our brown piece here. So now this gets to be a little extra fun and challenging, trying to line that up. There we go. I think I have this a little offset from where it needs to be. It looks like this should be centered a little bit more. I'll have it centered at some point. It just seems like it's a little off. Alright, then we flip over. We're on the back side, so that means that we should be getting on the home stretch here. Okay. That looks like this goes over here for whatever we do, that we're gonna line that up for whatever it's gonna do. I think that's for our eye. I think. No? No, we'll figure this out. Okay, but we're gonna make our eye at this point. Let's see, we have a yellow piece here for gold. On the paper, to me, it looks like it's yellow, but here it looks a little bit more gold. And then we have 2 of these. And again, because they're saving room on the poly bag, the instructions look a little off from here. And not knowing exactly what parts I'm supposed to be grabbing, just to be sure, then I kind of wonder if I'm grabbing the right ones. So that looks like that's where that's supposed to go. That looks like it's supposed to be there, and this one's supposed to be off to the side or something. I don't know. I guess we'll figure that one out. Oh, that's what I did wrong. That's what I did wrong. I missed one of these. I missed one of those. That's on me. That one I fully admit to. Alright. Now we're on the next one. Now this one must be where we get our... Here's the gear piece. That's supposed to go here. And we have an arm. And that looks like that's supposed to go like this. Now the nice thing is, if I need to, I can always stretch that a little bit. Okay. Now we have this is for our wheels from the looks of it. So we get to get a couple of these put together. I'm confused. No, it doesn't seem like it takes all that much for me to get confused at times, but I'm confused. Okay. So I'm going to need one of those on the top here. This goes there. No. This goes there. So let me do the other one on a similar way, because it wants me to do both of them identical. Now the only thing I'm confused with is it wants an arm out here and one of these, but what it's showing is black, not gray. That's why I'm confused here. So that means that that's got to be gray. That goes there. And this is gray. That one goes over here. Okay. So now we got that. And that's going to be this. So I can rock back and forth. Whoops, that's backwards. There we are. Okay. And then they want this piece on top here, which looks like that's supposed to rock here-ish. So I guess it can like an independent suspension here. All right. Now I'm trying to figure this one out. Okay, so get that. Okay, this piece goes in there. See, like I said, normally, you get a these are the parts you need, and because that's not here, that's kind of confusing me a little bit here. So I'm just trying to make sure I'm doing this right. There's one here. Looks like we threw a second one there. If I'm doing it on the one side, I know I'm going to have to do it on the other. Okay. So if that's there, I'm going to need this one. That goes on top. See, and this is how I kind of end up speeding things up when I'm doing it on my own. Because if we're doing something on one side, I know symmetrically it's going to have to be the same way on the other side. So then I end up doing it like that for the other side. So, looking at this goes like this. That goes over here, which seems a little odd, but this is how they have it set up. And then that goes in there. Okay. Oh, now we get to build our front arm before we start putting some wheels on here. Okay. Just trying to get this down here. All right. So I start off with this, and then, oh, here we are. Thought I saw the white. Okay. You have a white piece, and you're looking for the white piece, and my arm's over the white piece, so I can't find the white piece. All right. We need this, which goes into the rocker piece. I'll call it a rocker piece. And then that has what I will say like a little drill, and then that can then go this way, and that can go over here, and then we can move this around. Kind of an interesting thing. And put it all the way up, have it do a little dance. Alright, now we get to do the tires. So I have two tires that have this, so I'm going to do the two tires like that first because those are the back ones, and then we have this and this. So I feel like I'm missing pieces because I've got all these, but I don't think that's quite true because I do know that I need 4 of those. So once I get those off here, 2, 3, 4 extra pieces. Okay, so that's not too bad. Alright, so this goes in here, and then for this side, go there, and this side goes here. Now, I'm going to say this because I've watching the old History Channel on that, and you kind of see how big some of these vehicles actually are. It really amazes me because, when we see this stuff on TV and that, we think it's kind of like a radio controlled car and it's something small. But the reality is, when they spend all the millions of dollars to make this stuff or whatever, oh boy, this thing doesn't seem like it stands up quite as well. I guess it's off. It is off of there. All right. Okay. All right. So I'm going to grab one of our guys here. But from my understanding, that is pretty close to what the actual scale would be. They pack this stuff so full of everything, so it can try and do the things that they need it to do. And like I said, when I look at this stuff, it looks like it should just be, I don't know, like an oversized remote radio control car, right? But the reality is, it is roughly about that size. So Took me a little longer than I thought it would be. We're at about 20 minutes. But being a poly bag, it's not a very expensive build. And here it took me about 20 minutes. Like I said, the only issues I'm having is when I'm doing this in comparison to anything else, you know, it's pointing out here, this goes in there, that's there, or whatever. But normally you have, these are parts you're going to need, and you put it together. Here's the parts you're going to need, and this is what you put together. And because I really don't do a ton of poly builds, I know I've started doing more, seeing that I'm doing the YouTube channels. So I'm trying to find stuff that I think more people would actually be likely to buy, either for themselves or for their kids. And I want to try and keep things more towards the actual minifigure scale. Whether I'm right or wrong, I don't know. I mean, you guys could tell me. Because for me, if it's something I can use while I'm doing, you know, I could do my Kelvin Butterfingers, which I haven't done here in a little bit, and you guys haven't said anything, which is kind of nice, because I've you know, trying to work everything out here and keep all this going. You know, if I had Kelvin Butterfingers here and he's trying to do some maintenance on something or whatever, or he jumps on here thinking it's a forklift or something, I don't know. You know, I could do that. If I had that really large build and that thing takes up more room than, or about as much room as my little aircraft carrier or something like that, there's not much I can do with that. So trying to have stuff that I can keep, you know, for in my own little universe here. And I guess that's really about the best way to say everything I come up with for all my Star Trek and my Star Wars and D&D, and it's all my own little universe. It's my own little world. It's all the silliness in my little head here, but it's all for fun. I might still throw some things in there because, unfortunately, seeing how sad the world is, I might throw it in there because it makes adventure hooks. But anything I do on those regards, please just remember, this is all for fun. None of this should be taken too seriously. And you know, if it's in there as an adventure hook, it's because anyone that I have is going to always try to do the right thing. And I'll just leave it at that. And you know, I don't have anything against anybody for anything. I've like a lot of people, I've dealt with people that are usually grumpy people at work or whatever else. You know what? Deep down inside, they're nice people. It's just that whatever life has thrown at them, they're just kind of naturally on the grumpier side. And I'm not going to fault them for that. It's just the things that they've dealt with, and this is how they've gone through things. And one of the most regrettable things I've learned is, and this comes from Robin Williams, and if you don't know who Robin Williams is, because I mean, he's a comedian that has been gone here for a few years now. He had dealt with quite a bit of depression for a very long time. He had turned to drugs, he turned to alcohol, a lot of the things you should never try to turn to because it doesn't solve any of your problems. But he himself had mentioned that those that are trying to get the most laughter and bring the most amount of smiles to other people usually are dealing with some of the biggest amounts of depression in their own lives. And it's always kind of stuck with me. It's like, you know, I don't know what other people are dealing with. I'm just hoping to bring smiles to your faces. I'm not dealing with depression myself. Not saying I don't get down and all that stuff from time to time. But, you know, sometimes for whatever the reason, people just feel like they're being beat up on and everything else. And that's never my intention. My intention is, look, let's have fun in the day. Let's try and bring some humor and that, and get everyone smiling and feeling good again. So That's enough of my rant. Hopefully you're having a good day. Thank you so very much for joining me around the pool table. I'll see you in the next video. Hopefully I keep smiles on your face. Have a good day.